The exciting thing about emergency preparedness is you don't necessarily have to plan for a winter storm or specifically for an earthquake. Regardless of what's actually happening, we all need food, water, shelter, heat, and to communicate with one another. So my best suggestion would be start planning on what we call an all hazards approach. So your home needs to be heated. If the central heat is out, a inside safe space heater is a great start. Plan on not being in your entire home. If you can actually close most of your home off and live inside a room or 2 rooms, you don't have to heat the entire room. Having an emergency supply of water, having an emergency supply of food, and sometimes a redundant way to get hold of folks. You know, if you can't call someone on your home phone, text them on your cell phone, and sometimes texts will get through when an actual call won't. So bit by bit, just preparing methodically is a really great way to start. The million-dollar question is how much supplies you should have. If you talk to the American Red Cross, they're a big fan of 2 weeks. 2 weeks of water, 2 weeks of food. You don't have to go out and buy 2 weeks worth of food from, you know, Costco or the ready-made boxes of dehydrated food. You can make a 2-month plan to buy 2 weeks worth of food. So each time you go, you buy an extra jar of peanut butter, you buy an extra jar or an extra box of oatmeal, stuff that doesn't go bad quickly, that your whole family will eat. Now, if you talk to different organizations, some will say 2 weeks is too much, some will say 2 weeks is a poor beginning, and that some people have months worth of supplies or years worth of supplies. Me personally, 2 weeks is a heck of a start. If you want to establish an emergency heat and water plan and food plan, start little by little and start by using supplies that you would use normally. You know, a lot of us do camping. So start there. Use food that you might eat camping. Use supplies that you might eat camping. That way you get to practice using it, and that way you know what works and what doesn't work, and what isn't going to fail you when an actual emergency hits. So if you're familiar with how your camp stove works, because you've been using it camping, when you have an emergency, you're familiar with how you need it to work then. There's an old Chinese proverb that says the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Planning for a medical emergency is to plan ahead. So if you are having a medical emergency at home and you can't get out, if you're trapped, you're going to celebrate if you have spare medications, if you learned first aid, if you have a communications plan and you can reach out to friends, families, and neighbors who know that you may be in need in the event of emergency. And then, you know, try to be as resilient as possible, and then try to get out if you really need to get out.